set for the next section. Ready? Are you? Okay. So the next section we are going to do is, yesterday we looked into whether subjective reality and objective reality can never be seen unless the mind is stilled. And subjective reality is what we see. Okay, that's the conclusion. So you can't make a subjective reality an objective reality. Never. Meaning, if I am seeing Brisbane, just by saying that there is no Brisbane, it is not going to go away. It is still subjective. It's just like some people start imagining that I'm seeing a skeleton. They are imagining a skeleton as opposed to seeing a skeleton. Okay. So the aspect of Dhamma is to see things as they are. So we have to have the mind stilled to a greater extent for anybody to see as they are. Okay, so most of the time people start imagining that some people would imagine a Buddha coming to them and talking to them, even though no Buddha can come and talk to anyone. And they start arguing that I saw the Buddha. How can you say it's not true? So then the answer is in the sutta itself. He says, even when I'm alive itself, I'm not to be seen. How can anybody see me after death? Hoti tathagata paramarana, hoti tathagata paramarana. That means will be there after death, will not be there after death, or will be, will not be there after death. All these questions will come because of imaginations or considering or taking it to be true, because it's subjective reality. I can create a subjective reality on Buddha because I like Buddha. Okay, so I feel really filled with tears. Like Bobby, many times he says that when he reads the sutta, he gets into tears. And same is my case, and maybe same with Aryu's case, and same with many people's case. But that is subjective reality. Should you consider subjective reality to be true? Yes, it's happening. But is that the ultimate truth? No. Even though it is true. Like we went to Shravasti, because there was an imagination that Jetavana is there and then it's a good place to meditate. So we went to Shravasti. What do you see in Shravasti? No Buddha seated there. And no Ananda standing next to him. And no bhikkhu sitting over there. But mind creates that feeling. So you would feel as though you are part of that. Some person. And then what happens? He gets an overwhelming experience. But that experience is subjective. Like I and you and Shreyas and Ashutosh before went to Bodh Gaya. Did we have any experience? No. But I and Lasanta, we had gone to Bodh Gaya. Did we have experience? Yes. What's the difference between that experience in 2017 versus the experience what we had in 2023? What's the difference? It is subjective. Okay, then the question comes, then should we not pray to the Buddha or all of that? And the answer is no, because it's subjective. That is too harsh. And for that only we are starting the sutta, Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta. Okay. Maha is big, Tanha is craving. Sankhya is to add it up. The sutta which talks about how craving gets added up, so to say. Okay. Any question before we begin the journey? All ready for the journey? Sit tight and enjoy the ride. There might be some turbulence, and the captain is going to ask you to put on the seat belt. Otherwise, it would be a fine journey. Okay, so the first turbulence. We're going to hit the turbulence now on conscious experiences. So there are 6 consciousness, not one. Just like he gives an analogy of the fire. So if you see a fire somewhere, it has to be with something. The fire cannot be there without that something. So if there is a twig and it has caught fire, we can call it as twig fire. If there was a paper and it has got caught up with that, is called paper fire. And if there was a wood and it was not wet and it rubbed itself and then got a fire, it's wood fire. And if there's a garbage there and there was a fire, it's called garbage fire. This way of defining is what subjectivity is. It's just for convention that garbage, wood, twig, paper is indicated. That doesn't mean that in real there is a twig and a wood and all of that. So it is said to be. It's conditioned to be. So the fire, when it catches something, it catches through a source, which is the fuel. In the same way, eyes with the sight, when it is conscious, it becomes eye conscious. Okay. So there should be an eye and there is a sight, and it catches fire, burning the eye and the sight at the same time. So that gets consumed. Which one? This rupa object or the form, where it will get consumed in the eye. So just to make a point, Buddha says, just like a twig fire, we call it as eye is on fire as consciousness. Now the question comes, is that a permanent consciousness? Is the fire permanent? It stays eternal, irrespective of the wood being there? And the answer is no. In the same way, if the sight were to be removed, then the eye will not have any experience whatsoever, because there's no fuel. So Brisbane is what? Brisbane is the fuel. As long as one considers San Francisco, Brisbane, and Mumbai, and Bangalore, and other places to be eternal, it eternally burns. The moment you realize it is just a given name, the vijnana stops. So slight turbulence. So I'll stop. So you can ask me question if you have. Otherwise, the pilot is going to now zoom. Anyone on this turbulence not able to understand? I'll again repeat what I said. Just like a twig caught up fire. Twig is the fuel, so there's a fire. In the same way, sight is the fuel for the eyes, which is on fire. So there is a conscious experience. Now the same eye sees Brisbane. Brisbane is coming in the mind because it is said so. So the eyes starts to burn with Brisbane or San Francisco or Mountain View or San Jose or whatever those names are given. It's a given name, just like a human being is given a name where no human being exists. In the same way, a city is given a name when no city exists. As long as a city exists, so long is the experience. So it looks eternal because the fuel is there and so the fire. If the fire were to be removed, you can't. Can the fuel be removed? You can. But the moment you remove the fuel, the fire stops. So can I independently remove the fire itself? No. Can I independently remove the consciousness itself? No. It's dependent on the fuel. So what you should do? Don't play with consciousness, play with the fuel. Stop the fuel, the fire goes away. Clear? Sure. No turbulence. Perfect. Nice. So then, let's move forward. Now we move forward to a nice topic. When I was young, I listened to the radio, playing my favorite song. Which is this? What's the song? And who has made it? Ario. It's your favorite. Carpenters. Okay. So who's the singer? Leave it. It's fine. Okay. So what did you understand by this analogy of this carpenters? And those people who have never heard carpenters will never get it. There's no fuel for them. For those people who have heard carpenters, they listen to the song. And after this session, the song will start to play. And that's fascinating. Fine. Welcome to the Hotel California. One other friend is here. Shreyas, he loves that. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warmth, all that thing. Warm smell of colitas rising up to the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head was heavy and sight too dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood on the doorway. I listened to the. So, anyway, so this song, you will immediately say it from Eagles. How? What has Eagles got to do with that song? It's Hotel California, but it's from band Eagles. How did it work? Fuel and fire. So it's coming from where? Sotancha paticca sadde cha upajjati sota vinyanam. So this consciousness has come from the ear. Now the question comes, where was the song stored? Manancha paticca dhamme cha upajjati mano vinyanam. So where did it first appear? It first appeared in the mind. On the same note, where does mountain view exist? Not on the mountains. Neither there's a view. In fact, from Aryu's home, it's a long distance to see the mountain view and so-called mountain and a view. From Aryu's place, I couldn't see any mountain view. In fact, his house road is Sleeper Avenue because people keep on sleeping there, I guess. Right? So you can name whatever you want. And when you name it, the first thing that goes is in the mind. The mind sense door opens up, burns. So there's a memory. So just like hardware device where you have memories, so you can have memory chip and it just gets, until unless it is overridden by a next one, you can retrieve it. Unless I give a command called rename Mountain View with so and so, it will remain Mountain View. Unless I give a command rename so and so, like Hotel California with so and so, it will remain Hotel California. So as many times I would like it to be retrieved, it comes out. And every time it is retrieved, it becomes a fuel. Yes, Saryu. Yes. So it creates copies. How many copies? Unlimited. Because each expression is dependent on each emotion. I might have sang this song in, you remember, Aryu, while we were in the Bodh Gaya, the Tathagata, sorry, that Oaks International Hotel, there we were singing this song. You know what it does? It makes a copy there. So it will give you with the Oaks Hotel, and we were singing along with the tunes. And then you remember we were singing in the car when we were going to Rajaga. So it will start singing there. One second. So whatever we've been singing will come with the car. You see, what's the difference? That came with Tathagata, sorry, Oaks International. Okay, that same song. When you were in your room, we sang once during we were sitting for breakfast or for lunch, and once we were singing in the room along with Shreyas and Ashutosh and all of that being there. Right? Now, if I say that, does that not come to you? Now, you have heard about carpenters without me, right? if you remember, a new copy comes up without me. And while you were in doing your bachelor degree in US, it'll come with that. If you're hearing that while in China, it'll come with that. So how many copies are there of the same song? It's amazing, right? It brings up with everything. And let's say Shaniel also has heard this song and he has been listening to it from his good old days, school days or college days or whatever days. He would start listening each copy of that. The song is the same, but the copies are different. It's amazing how Vinyana brings it up. It brings up with everything. Yes, Shreyas.
One more thing that I've noticed is that so when there are multiple copies with the same song, right?
Hmm.
Depending on the mindset that we are in at that moment, it will go towards the one which it liked back then. So,
Yes.
which is, likable at that moment. So it'll go and bring back, even though there are multiple copies, it knows which one to gravitate towards. So that's something amazing as well.
Yes, it is. It brings back the copy. So that's the reason the experience, what we have, is subjective. It's not objective. You have a copies and copies and copies and copies of everything. The time I spent with Ariu, when Ariu met me first time on online, very first time, is totally different than when I met him in Bangalore. In fact, the Ariu whom I saw at the airport was someone who is searching for a teacher, and he felt that by hugging him, he will get enlightenment. So he wanted to hug me, and I was saying that, hey, hold on, not here. And then he had to wait for reaching home, and he was in tears. Why this guy is not making me hug? And then he hugged and nothing happened. That was even more shocking for him, that he thought by hugging this fellow, the Buddha Dhamma will get transferred from this brain to that brain. And it's a sync, meaning mobile sync, so to say. So maybe we are on a Bluetooth device or Wi-Fi or whatever it is, and then Shaktipat. Yeah. So something like that. And I still remember the face of Ari when he landed in Bangalore and his innocent face at, okay, now I want to be part of this. So it was something funny to see. And for me, it was fun because I didn't know how to react to Ariu because it was the very first time somebody is coming to meet me. I had a previous experience with Axel, which I was talking about. Now he's Chinakusala. So he had come to our house and he had stayed. And he was in total confusion whether he should stay in Bangalore, he should go to Sri Lanka, whether he should go to Thailand, where all he should go. And then his parents were worried about him. And then since he was at my home, I was talking to his mother and all that. Anyway, cutting the story short is that the second person who ever came and met me is Ariu. So I didn't know how to approach how this whole thing should be done. It was funny for me to see that by hugging somebody can get all their data transferred. Hope it would have worked that way, right? And that's the time we went to Bodh Gaya, and the entire visit of his Bodh Gaya was in tears. The entire, from the time we sat in the flight to the time we came back to Bangalore, he was in tears because his expectation of a teacher was totally different than this stupid teacher whom he saw. So he didn't know what he's going to get. Now, its entire bodhi experience is subjective. It's a trash because that entire experience is gone without trace. You can pull it back, right, like a records, and I can rewind, re-eat it, which is called as rumination. So you ruminate the previous experience and then say, when I was there. So Buddha says in the same sutta, who was I? What was I doing? All that will come because I don't see this subjective experience at all. It's completely fabricated subjective experience. There's no reality in that, not even an ounce of reality. And that's what this vijnana will do. You get a conscious experience which is subjective. So if somebody says it's permanent, isn't it laughable? How can this experience be permanent for you? It doesn't even stay a second. Forget staying for a lifetime. Like the experience what I had this morning of taking the train and coming to office is gone. I don't remember the seat. Like I and Ashwin, we tried out with an ice cream. 2 scoops of ice cream, filled up scoop, went to the restaurant, had a nice ice cream. It was fabulous. But we had a Baskin Robbins ice cream. What happened to the previous 2 ice creams? He couldn't remember. It was just 5 minutes after eating, or max 10 minutes, let's say. It's subjective. And what about the taste? What about the feel of that ice cream? Forget the taste, the feel. That one, not there. Okay, that's good. So then we had Baskin Robbins ice cream where we paid good amount of money for Baskin Robbins. And what happened to that? And what happened to the store called Baskin Robbins? It's gone. Once the body started moving forward, Baskin Robbins basked out. And we went to Polar Bear. We didn't find even one polar bear there, but in the whole ice cream experience of polar bear just couldn't stick on. That means as soon as a fuel is changed, the fire drowses and the new fuel given, the fire starts. So I and Ashwin's experience was that no taste is not only permanent, it is anatta, not yours. So if taste is not yours, think eyes are yours. No. Then what about the ears? No. What about the nose? No. What about body? No. What about the mind itself, which is giving that experience? No. Because you change the object, this also changes. Like the last day of my Australian visit was in Shaniel. That was on Saturday. Now, whatever we did is there on the video. Marion had taken the video. So I can play that video again and again, and then it seems I'm enjoying or suffering, whatever that is. But can I get back that experience again? Gone. So the fuel changed, the fire changes. Fire is the same, but the fuel is different. So this time, it's a different fuel. Next time, a different fuel, a different fuel. But the fire keeps on consuming it. So this is the difference between the theistic religions, which believe in eternal something, versus what Buddha says. Buddha never goes into eternal and annihilation because both are wrong views. You can't eternally enjoy anything or suffer anything because it's dependent on the fuel. So, subjectivity is what you experience all the time. Objectivity is when there is no experience at all. So if you are in Nirodha Samapatti, there is no experience. And that's what I wanted to drive home this point, that we shouldn't be imagining that I'm in Nirodha Samapatti. If you are, then it's objective, not subjective. Especially this holds good for me and Shaniel, because he's almost there. So just wanted to help him with this, that he can understand there's no subjectivity. Once he gets there, it's consumed. There's no fuel. Then we can say only fire exists? No. Then what exists? Silence. I didn't get it. No, you better don't get it. Because if you get it, you have put a fuel and fire starts burning. Hey, come on, you should show some glimpse. You should say, okay, this is how you enter. Simple thing. Enter your home. Yes, I entered. Where is the home? What do you mean? Show me the home. Don't show me the room. Show me the home. That's the answer. Will you ever show me the home? No. You will start showing me the rooms. This is bedroom. This is living room. This is washroom. Sorry, sir. Show me the home. That's what I'm showing. Show me the home. You said you entered the home, right? Show me. Like I entered this room. Show me the room means I'll show the chair, I'll show the table, I'll show this, I'll show that. It's subjective. Where's this room? You got the point. That's objective. Minusing the home is objective, because you couldn't show it. So Nibbanam Paramam Sukham is something which can't be shown as subjective. Language cannot be used to say what it is, because if you say what it is, it means it is within the six senses. It starts to burn. And then there's a burning desire. Well, tell me how many kgs of Nibbana you want. Oh, I'll give you 5 kgs at this rate. So I'll say, Ariu, it will cost 75,000 US dollars. Let's say Ariu has 500,000 US dollars. It says, that's peanuts to me. $75,000 for Nibbana? How many kgs? Yep, you can take the whole thing. Because it's subjective. 75,000 US versus 75,000 Australian dollars are both dollars. But Australian dollars is lesser when compared to American dollars. Who says so? Subjectivity says so. Market says so. But both are dollars. And there's no difference between American dollar and US dollar, except for the printing. It's a dollar. But Australian dollar is lesser. Indian rupees to Australian dollar is 54. What about US dollar? 85. Which is better? Higher the better. Right? Who says so? Subjectivity says so. Did anybody come and tell us that US dollar is better, Australian dollar is better? We make it out. That means the mind make it out. Now somebody gives me 75,000 US and somebody gives me 75,000 Australian dollar. Which one will I prefer? So if Shaniel asks me to give Nibbana, then I'll give him lesser because the value of 75,000 Australian dollars is going to pick lesser Nibbana versus $75,000 of American. So Eriu is going to get slightly better Nibbana than Shaniel. Whereas Indian rupees, these people sitting here from India, poor guys, they don't get anything because they can't fund 75,000 US dollar into 85 Indian rupees. Man, they're going to die. Their whole savings is gone. So what do? They try and negotiate with me. I'll give you 75,000 Indian rupees. I say, yeah, I'll give you 4 grams of Nibbana. No kgs. Because all the three are subjective. There is no reality. It's just subjectivity. It's just fire and fuel. You just keep on fueling it, it just fires it up. And that's it. So 75,000 US dollars versus 75,000 Indian rupees and 75,000 this one, Australian dollars, is just what? Sankam gachati. Sanka means just said. It's no value there. So chakuncha paticca rupe cha uppajjati chakku vijnanam. That vijnana which has come out is trash. You understand the point? Any turbulence? I'll stop. Other people on the call with no video, I can't even see what you're feeling, or you're in the flight, or you're already ejected out. But anyway, I can think you're still on the flight. So the 6 senses are like that. So when Sati says it's the same consciousness which goes to the next life, Buddha wanted to make it saying that it doesn't even last now. Forget about going to the next life. What are you talking? You idiot. From where did you get this kind of wrong interpretation of my Dhamma? It doesn't even last. See, the airport at which Ariu and Chirag came to pick me up at San Francisco is dead almost more than 5 months ago. It was 22nd of December. Now we are in 28th of May. 5 months back, and around 5 days or 6 days, they picked me up. The body of Ariu is burnt out completely. The body of Chirag also burnt out. The body of Vilas also burnt out. The flight which was taken is completely gone with all its people. And the people who were there at that point in time no longer exist in the same shape and size and all of that. So did the consciousness stay? Yes, it stayed in subjective experience. No, it stayed in objectivity only. It didn't stay in subjective. So what is objective then? Objective is no individuality. So that means no Ariu came to pick up no Vilas from the airport. So it has all become so-called. So-called Ariu came to pick up so-called Vilas in a so-called BMW to take him to so-called Mountain View, and all becomes so-called. The Madras Cafe and this and that and wherever we went is so-called because it's so-called. Tomorrow, that Madras Cafe can be bought over by some other person, and he can put his board and say that, oh, then it will say erstwhile Madras Cafe. And if you go to that same restaurant and you ask him, there was Madras Cafe here. Yeah, we bought it recently. But we are going to give you the same idli, by the way. Yes, sir. Chennai Cafe, yeah, yeah, because Madras is no longer existing. You see, that's a good one. They were calling it Madras. And who called Madras? English. They couldn't spell it properly, so they struggled. So they couldn't say Mumbai, so they made it Bombay. It was much easier for them. They couldn't, their tongues couldn't twist it. Mumbai. How do you say that? Mumbai. Mumbai? No, Mumbai. Forget it. We'll make it Bombay. That's the best thing. Okay. And who called Bombay? Everyone. From that time, they made a rule. From today, Bombay is what is called. And the Hindi guys were great. What did they do? They made the Bombay to make Bombaya. You can change whatever you want. And then they start singing. Bombay Meri Jaan. My Jaan means life, love, or like a life, my life. Bombay, my life. So they made a lot of songs. Okay. Then the English went away. And after a few years, they changed it back to Mumbai. Who stops? No one. Now everybody started saying Mumbai. What happened to Bombay? Died. What else? Anything that is born subjectively will die. Because subjective, subject to condition. So if a person is married, he's dead of bachelor life. Isn't it or not? And if he is divorced, he's dead of married life. That's all what it is. Now, Shaniel can always be with his ex-wife as a friend, but he doesn't have a wife. He'll say, my ex is calling me. Why not Y? Why not A? Why not B? No, it's X. Who says so? I don't know what it means. We call it as ex-wife. And she will say ex-husband. Even though they both are meeting, what is X and Y there? And if they were to ask like that, they say, hey, wait a second. What are we talking? Do you experience X? Yes, I do. Stupid guy. How can you experience X? You can either experience a human being or non-human being. Where is this X coming into picture? No, we don't feel attracted as husband and wife. But you feel attracted towards a person, right? Yeah, she's my friend. Come on, please try to understand. You created friend then, right? You created wife, and now you created a friend out of that wife. Earlier she was a friend, then she became a wife. You deleted the wife, so what happened? You became X. So then I will make a nice coding. It says public static void extends whatever, and there I will put what are the clauses. Let so and so be a Boolean argument or a character or a numeral num. Let so and so be null. So when the value is null, it doesn't carry anything. So Boolean over null means what? It's a wrong computation. So if it is not X, while so and so I'll put a while for and while loop and then loop it up. So every time it loops up, it comes up with the same answer. She is my ex. Can you cut out that X from the equation? Yes. Why are you carrying it? And that's samsara. Cut out the loop. Why is it looping? You just cut it off. There's no X. Like every time you showed, that's my ex wife. Why? That's your friend's home. There's no X. There's no Y. So when you say X, you bring all those events back to memory from the time you married till the time you divorced, which makes no sense. It's all dead piles, which is subjective. So if you delete it off, then what happens? You're free. You literally done it. And that is nirodha, cessation. The fire suddenly went off because you didn't give any fuel. So the same place where we went there, you took a left turn and you went there. Even if you go there, you don't recognize it to be your home. It's just a house, like hundreds of houses. That's another house. And there lives someone who has a name. And there's one bar called Cheers in Boston, where they put everybody knows your name. That's the tagline of Cheers. It's a beautiful bar, Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And there's a teledrama of that. Nice teledrama. If you ever get it, you can watch all that. It's very nice one. Cheers. Very humorous, uh, teledrama. Okay. So where the song itself is where everybody knows your name. Something like that. You just know your name. Just go there, talk normal. When you see that body, you don't have to recognize. Recognize need not be done. Just cognize it. As what? As just an object. Then what happens? Vinyate vinyate mattam. You're just cognizing for the sake of cognition. So when I go back to Shaniel's home again in November, I can't bring back the memory saying that, while I was at your home, it was like this. Yeah, it was like that, agreed. But why ruminate again and again and again? It's cannot come back. I had a persimmon fruit from his home and it tasted very good. It came all the way to Bangalore. Okay. And then he has got a lot of the pecan trees. And then we had this pecan as well. And then we were eating. All that is good, but it's already in the toilet. The persimmon fruit never came to Bangalore per se. If I'd eaten at his house, it would have landed maybe in Bobby's home, because Sunday morning I went to the loo. If I think it came to Bangalore, it's my foolishness, it's subjective reality. It couldn't stay even 4 hours. So it's gone, consumed. So that's what consciousness does. It consumes. So sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, thoughts are consumptions, consumables, fuel. Yes, Aryu. No, you're doing a pointer to a pointer expression. Don't do that. That doesn't help. Array is the same. You're going to the same database. Why don't you just take the database and call the person's name? Why this roundabout thing? oh, she's my ex, and I'll delete the ex, and now I put, oh, Luke's mom. And if it's Luke's mom, and then who are you? You're Luke's dad. So in that way, you are connected. It's like I'm saying a pointer to a pointer gives me a null pointer exception. No, it gives me a pointer. It points to the same thing, but in a different way. So when I give a class where I say super, where does it go? It goes back to that pointer from where it appeared. So that just because I'm calling public static void something like that is not going to become void, right? Yes, go ahead. No, you are putting label over the label. Okay, we'll instead of your wife address, that is 192.168.1.8, that's your wife's address. So instead of that, we'll create a subnet address of 192.168.2.5, that is Mumbai. By chance you were to connect Mumbai with your ex-wife or with that machine, will it not go back to the same loop? If two networks were to be connected, and then I can take the data from the second network, can I not take it from the first network? I can, because they both are connected. Just by renaming it, it's not going to do anything except for the experience remains the same. So your experience of Mumbai versus your experience of Bombay would vary a little bit, but overall it remains the same. As far as emotions goes, it would be the same. At the label level, it might look there's no difference. Like X versus Luke's mom versus her name. Yes, it's almost the same. It's just like calling. See, I don't like villas, so I'll say Anjana's husband. How does that mean? And then I don't like Anjana, so then I'll say his son's father, or person staying in Bangalore by the name V. Yep.
Yeah. I guess I have a one real example of how changing the perception really changes how you see someone is when before I moved out for a few weeks, my ex-wife was seeing me as a husband before. So she was always mad at this husband. But then before I moved out, I become a friend for a few days because she know I'm moving out. So for that few days she's pretty happy with me because, not much
Exactly.
expectations. But again, when she's feeling good about it, the expectation comes back. Now again, she become mad at me. So it flipped for a while between husband and friend until it's
Yes, because in her mind, she's not able to let go of the husband. Okay, so that's the thing. It's burning. It's like she's adding fuel of husband. So what happens? When she puts the fuel of husband, she gets the whatever experience she had with husband, even though you no longer her husband. So let's say she had all sweet memories and then you wanted to go. So whenever she remembers, she's going to feel terrible. It's a loss. So she would call you. Can you reconsider joining back? Like a company had an employee. The employee was very good and the employee went away, but they couldn't find a replacement. And what did the manager do? Every few months, just give him a call. Hey, how are you doing? All good. You know what? We still have a open position and we are planning to hire, but we thought you're the best person. We can pay double the wage if you want. Would you reconsider. And he would say, no, I'm happy here. But that doesn't help the manager. Then what happens? After a few more months, the manager comes back with another proposal because he wants him back. Now let's take another scenario where the company doesn't want him, but the employee wants to join back. So now the employee keeps on calling the manager saying that, hey, how are you doing? All good. And then he starts explaining the projects he's doing, where the manager is not even interested in knowing why is he talking so many things. I don't understand why this guy gives me a call every time. Okay, anyway, what could be done? And he's trying to duck it up, saying that, yeah, Vilas, yes, I hear you. It's very good. So no, I just wanted to know whether there's any open position. No, we told you, right? We had to let go of you because we didn't have any position. Yeah, do let me know once you have some position open. Yeah, definitely. We have kept your name on the first one. And after a few months, nothing has been heard. Again, I give a call to this company saying that, hey, how are you doing? And all that. And then come to the point. Then what will I ask? Did you get the budget this time? And this is, why are you keeping so much track of us? If we were to have an open position, we'll definitely come back to you. Why this is happening? Because I am so attached to the organization that I can't let it go. It burns. The fuel is there, the fire comes. So now it gives me all that experience back again. So let's say, Ariu, I joined Google and I love Google after you showed me Google Plex, and I feel I should be part of Google. Let's say Shaniel offers me a job in half bricks because he's going to make another, instead of half, he thinks I'll make it as full brick. And there's an offer from Google. What do you think I should take? Google or half bricks? You would say, don't join Google. But then I will say, Harry, the lunch, what they serve in Google, I love it, man. You're the luckiest person. You have 6 buildings to eat the lunch. And ice creams we had in Google. At Shaniel's place, he doesn't have an office. Like, what do you have? He says, it's at my home. And I've seen his home. So whom should I join? You or him? Now, you means Google or him? And then I would say, I would always prefer Google. Then what I do? I exactly do the same. I join Google. But Google fires me in 3 months' time. For whatever reason. Now, I can't approach Shaniel because Shaniel offered me the job. I rejected. It will be too much of a pain. So what do? I renegotiate and it doesn't work. And in the end, I will approach Shaniel and saying that, hey, don't feel bad. I'm coming back to you. And he knows this guy is nuts, right? Now I will not hire him. But still, just to keep the thing going, I'll say, yeah, Vilas, go ahead. Yeah, tell me. Yeah. So I just wanted to check whether the job is still there. And then you're still looking for that developer whom you thought, no, we already filled it a position. You know what, I've just done, scaled agile framework, this version and that version. No, we don't require agile experts. But I have something else other than that. No, we don't require anything at all at this point in time. Now I lost 2 birds. One bird I joined, another bird is not giving. Now what happens? Every time I remember Google, it brings tears in me. Because it started with the fuel and fire. Every time I remember Shaniel, it's going to bring the same thing to me because he didn't give me the job. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's every time I see him, I get the same feeling. Every time I see you, I get the same feeling. And then what should I do? So I will now rename it, thinking that will go away. No, by adding labels is not going to do anything to me. In fact, it makes it worse. So I'm not confronting it. So how do I confront it? Come on, delete it from the system. How? Animitta, desymbolize it, remove the symbol. Google is a symbol, remove it. Half brick is put there, it's a symbol, remove it. Shaniel is a symbol, remove it. Aryu is a symbol, remove it. Then what happens? What do you mean what happens? It's deregistered. Now, which consciousness is it? It's objective. So the subject is gone. That's the ultimate peace. Any questions? All good? So learn to desymbolize. You are in Nibbana. That's all. So when I went to that retreat, I desymbolized Mr. S.N. Goenka. That's it. And I even desymbolized Shreyas because he was causing problem to me. He used to come in front of my face and then I had to, Shreyas, and we can't talk and he wants to talk. His eyes are saying, sir, I just want to talk to you for a minute. And then that's going to be troublesome to me. So I'm just looking at him, making him a skeleton. And drop the skeleton. And then what happens? There is no Shreyas. So did I experience Nibbana while in the retreat? Yes, absolutely. But can you tell me what is Nibbana? No, it's subjective reality, if I explain to you. So end of part 2, I guess, today. Tomorrow we continue on we start going deeper into this Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta. If you have any questions, we can still take it. Otherwise, we can end. Yes, go ahead. No, wait, Shaniel, I think Aryu has a question. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I hope it's not a confusing one, but like when the
No, it isn't.
when the ear hears carpenters, there's a contact, and
Yes.
upon the passa, there's a pleasant feeling.
Yes.
Although that pleasant feeling is it in the ear sense door,
Yes.
but that
But enjoyed by the mind sense door.
okay, but that
Enjoyed
pleasant
simultaneously by the mind sense door. Yeah, go ahead.
although that pleasant feeling comes because of memory, which was in the mind.
Yes.
So it's a very quick retrieval from the mind to get that pleasantness in the ear sense door.
In your public void static, just put super. Super class is mind. And your subclass everything else. So I subclass eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. 5 subclasses. The top of the hierarchy is mind. Okay. So every time you say super, it goes back to that. So the pointer to a pointer. And those people who don't understand software programming, I will tell you in a very, our friend is even more intelligent. He's brought up with inheritance. So Shreyas, we can talk about object-oriented programming, I think, in a very short while, and all the other guys will drop off because they will not understand what we are saying. So for people who don't understand software development, it's like this. You point to something like husband. That's a pointer. Pointer to a pointer is the person who married. So marriage is the first pointer, husband is the second pointer. So whenever you say husband, it takes you to the super class or the top of the hierarchy, which is marriage. So you start remembering the marriage. Even though the husband is getting aged by the body, the marriage is fixed. experience till death or divorce cuts it apart. Okay. Now, if you delete marriage, husband itself is gone. If husband is gone, the children which are associated with that husband also gets deleted because it's dependent on the husband. And the children came into existence because of the marriage. So if you were to declassify or deregister marriage, even today legally, they don't belong anywhere. You got the point? And then they would ask this question, what's going to happen to your children? So then you say, we'll do a settlement. Because by the act of marriage, you came into existence. By the act of divorce, you end that existence. Now, what happens to the children? They no longer are your children. Right? So you would say, ex-husband, fine, he is a stepfather. What? When did I step out? Boss, you stepped out because you were not married. But he's my son. Yes, while at your home. But while the wife marries again, and this son becomes a stepson. How is that? Yes, why not? Oh shucks. Wait a second. I'm not able to even digest this. Yes, you can't digest because yeah, see you, bye-bye. You can't digest it because of the case that the marriage is the top level hierarchy. Everything else comes below that. If you deregister marriage, everything falls. Just like the roof falling. The roof was the marriage. It doesn't matter how many people were under the roof. It all falls. And that's the reason it's called divorce. Because you lose custody of everything you had at once. So you have to go for settlement. Yes.
I guess that might be the reason why they always say unborn, because that's the root of this entire life links on that.
Yes. Unborn, unmade. So those people, yes, May.
Sorry, I didn't want to change the topic, but it was just going back to the music. If you want to, just in terms of the music being in your memory, and if you want to listen to it again, I mean, how do you, how sometimes you really like that music, sometimes you end up listening to it 2-3 times. How do you stop it? How do you, obviously, by that stage you're attached to that music. So
30th
what should you do to stop?
30th of December 2025, going to have the same session face to face with Ariu.
Oh, good. Okay.
So you need to wait for another 6 more months before this can come in force.
And in terms of before, you mentioned, I think when you saw a person, you turned them into skeleton. Should you do that, like if the person was in your memory as well and said, let's say you had, whether good or bad emotions or feelings Is that
Yes.
the best way to just stop? Just
Yes,
turn
that
them.
will be that would be live on 2nd of Jan 2026.
Second Jan. Okay. Okay. I will wait. Be patient.
Yeah, be patient because that has to be done face to face. I can't tell you something on this video call like this, and then when your camera is turned off, and then it's better we do it when we can do it face to face. Anyway, you're coming. Anyway, Aryu is there, so you have many things in common, so we can do it.
Thank you.
Shall we end then? All good?
Thank you.
Good day and good night. See you tomorrow.